What's happening, Texans Nation? You better sit down for this one, because what I'm about to reveal will completely shatter everything you thought you knew about this organization's plans for 2025. We're talking about 3 explosive revelations that just dropped like atomic bombs, and each one tells a different story about where this franchise is really headed. Picture this nightmare scenario. Your franchise quarterback had a sophomore slump that has analysts questioning his ceiling, and now experts are making bold predictions about his third year that will either vindicate him or destroy his reputation forever. Your Pro Bowl running back's injury situation just went from bad to potentially catastrophic in ways that could derail the entire offensive game plan. And in a move that will blow your mind, management just threw $6 million out the window on a player they released before he could even suit up for a single game. Smash that like button right now if you're ready for this roller coaster of emotions. Drop a comment below with your biggest fear about Stroud's development, because after what you're about to hear, everything changes. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you even waiting for? This is Texans Nation content that hits different than anything else out there. The truth is ugly, the reality is harsh. But we're gonna face it head on like the loyal fans we are. We've got ESPN analysts making predictions that will either have you celebrating or crying into your battle red jersey. We've got injury updates that might force you to completely adjust your fantasy football expectations. And we've got front office decisions that will make you question whether this organization knows what they're doing. Are you ready to discover why experts believe this could be CJ Stroud's most important season yet? Can you handle the truth about what's really happening with our running back situation? And most importantly, are you prepared to learn about the $6 million mistake that shows even championship-level organizations make head-scratching decisions? Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because Texans Nation deserves to know the whole truth. The future of Houston football hangs in the balance, and the first revelation will either give you hope or break your heart completely. The truth about CJ Stroud's development just got real. Texans Nation and ESPN analyst Dominique Foxworth just dropped a prediction that will either make you jump for joy or have you questioning everything. Let's address the elephant in the room that's been haunting every Texans fan since last season ended. Our golden boy quarterback had what can only be described as a sophomore slump that shook this fan base to its core. Remember those magical rookie numbers: 24 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, MVP consideration, leading us to the playoffs like some kind of football messiah. Then came 2024, and the harsh reality check that made us all question if we've been living in a dream. Just 20 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, more than double his rookie mistakes. Same offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick, same weapons, but somehow everything felt broken, predictable, and frustrating beyond belief. Foxworth didn't pull any punches when he explained what went wrong. I think one of the issues with this offense was variety and predictability. I think if they can address that, that will take some of the pressure off of him. Predictability, that's the word that should haunt every Bobby Slowick supporter, because it means defenses figured us out and we had no answers. The consensus is crystal clear now. Slowick lacked the ability to make adjustments when defenses adjusted, and his offensive imagination was about as creative as a cardboard box. The result: defenses knew exactly what we were going to do, and Slowick had absolutely zero counters to what they were throwing at us. But here comes the hope that every Texans fan desperately needs. Nick Caley is now our offensive coordinator, bringing experience from the Los Angeles Rams and something Slowick never gave Stroud: more control at the line of scrimmage. We're talking about the ability to change plays, make adjustments, and actually respond to what defenses are showing him. And then Foxworth dropped a prediction that will either make this season legendary or set us up for heartbreak. He will be better this year than either of his first 2 years. Not just better than his sophomore slump, better than his rookie year that had us all believing in miracles. With less predictability, hopefully better offensive line play, and health in the receiver core, Foxworth believes Stroud is about to unleash his true potential. This isn't just hope. This is an expert analyst putting his reputation on the line by declaring that our franchise quarterback is about to have his breakout season. But hold up, Texans Nation, because if you think quarterback predictions are the most shocking news hitting our organization, wait until you hear about the running back situation that just went from concerning to absolutely terrifying. The Joe Mixon situation just took a turn for the worst. And what Nick Caserio just said will have every Texans fan questioning our entire offensive strategy. Wood already knew Mixon was on the PUP list and would miss the first 4 weeks pushing Nick Chubb into the spotlight as our new RB1. That was already a gut punch considering Mixon ran for 1,016 yards and 11 touchdowns last season, then added 194 yards in just 2 playoff games. This man was supposed to be the foundation of our ground game, but then Caserio opened his mouth and dropped a bombshell that should terrify every member of Texans Nation. When reporters asked if Mixon would play at all this season, our GM couldn't even give us a simple yes. Instead, he hit us with the most terrifying response possible. We'll see. We'll take it one day at a time. What do you mean we'll see? This is our Pro Bowl running back we're talking about. The man who was supposed to carry this offense alongside Stroud. The difference between missing 4 games and missing 17 games is the difference between playoff contention and complete disaster. We'll evaluate those players after 4 weeks and see where they are in their progression and then make a determination, Caserio continued. And every word felt like another nail in the coffin of our championship dreams. If this was just a garden variety ankle issue, why can't management confirm he'll be back at some point this season? The door has been left wide open for doubt, and that uncertainty is absolutely killing us. We're looking at a scenario where Nick Chubb, who couldn't regain his previous form after returning from injury last year, might have to carry this entire offense on his back. Damian Pierce, Dare Ogunbowale, and rookie Woody Marks better be ready, because they might be our only options. The Baltimore Ravens game in Week 5 was supposed to be Mixon's triumphant return, but now even that feels like wishful thinking. If he's out longer, and Caserio's comments suggest he very well might be, this puts enormous pressure on Stroud to carry the entire offensive load through the air. We went from having one of the most balanced offensive attacks in the league to potentially being a one-dimensional passing offense that defenses can game plan against with ease. The ripple effects are staggering. More pressure on Stroud, more stress on the offensive line, more predictability in our play calling. But if you think the Mixon situation is the most shocking news coming out of Houston, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you about a $6 million mistake will have you questioning every decision this front office makes. Texans Nation, prepare to have your minds blown, because this organization just made a $6 million mistake that will have you questioning everything about how this front office operates. We're talking about Nick Niemann, a linebacker who signed a 2-year, $6 million contract in March with $3 million guaranteed this season and $1 million in full guarantees for next year. This man was supposed to be a key piece of our special teams unit and provide linebacker depth that championship teams need. But here's where it gets absolutely insane. The Texans just released him 5 months later, before he could even suit up for a single regular season game, before he could contribute to a single play that mattered. We literally threw $6 million out the window like it was pocket change. Mike Garafolo reported that the Texans will foot the bill on the $1.5 million signing bonus, while most of the rest of the guarantees come off the books if Niemann lands with another team. But that's still $1.5 million down the drain for nothing. Absolutely nothing. This isn't some undrafted free agent taking up a roster spot. This was a targeted free agent signing. Niemann spent 4 seasons with the Los Angeles Chargers after they drafted him in the 6th round out of Iowa. He had 86 tackles across those 4 seasons and played on over 80% of the Chargers' special teams snaps in 2024. The Texans saw enough value to invest $6 million in March, but 5 months later decided depth at linebacker made it a tough call and just cut him loose. Are you kidding me? If depth was going to be an issue, shouldn't that have been evaluated before signing him to a multi-million-dollar contract? This is the kind of move that makes you wonder if the left hand knows what the right hand is doing in the organization. We're supposed to be building a championship level roster, but we're making decisions that waste precious salary cap space on players who never even get a chance to contribute. Niemann was a special team star, exactly the kind of player that championship teams value, because those units often determine close games in January. But apparently, the Texans didn't feel they had the luxury to keep a specialist like that on the roster. Smash that like button if this front office decision has you frustrated. Drop a comment telling us what you think about wasting $6 million on a player who never played. And subscribe if you want the truth about every questionable move this organization makes. The worst part, some other team is going to sign Neiman and probably get excellent production from him while we eat the financial loss. This is the kind of mistake that good organizations don't make. And it raises serious questions about our evaluation process and decision making at the highest levels. How do you go from this player is worth $6 million to we can't afford to keep him in just 5 months? What changed? What did the front office miss during the evaluation process? And most importantly, how many other expensive mistakes are we going to make while trying to build a championship roster? Texans Nation, we deserve better than this. We deserve front office decisions that make sense, contracts that provide value, and investments that actually contribute to winning football games. Instead, we got a $6 million lesson in how not to manage a salary cap. What do you think? Is this just a one-time mistake? Or does it represent bigger problems with how this organization evaluates talent? Sound off in the comments because we need to hold this front office accountable for every dollar they waste.